I moved out here to Arizona from Chicago full-time in 73. I came out to Phoenix and there was this incredible radio station called KDKB, 93.3. Crazy Dog, Crazy Boy, all those people, Dwight and Toad and Hank, everybody was in full gear and they were playing all the music that they wanted to play, and they were discovering great new music. There were the great jazz players they played, like the Miles Davis and John Coltrane at 3 p.m. No excuses needed. 100,000 watts of power from Mesa, Arizona, and they played Pink Floyd, and they played all the great folk artists, and then the whole revolution of the LA country kind of rock singers came out, and the Jackson Browns came out, and Bonnie Raitt from Boston with her blues, she came out, and Bruce Springsteen came out, and Billy Joel came out, and Jerry Riopelle came out. So I heard of Jerry, previous records, but none of it really stuck, and I hadn't moved here yet. So I moved here permanently at the end of 73, and then in 74, this record came out. It was kind of a life changer for me and a lot of people. He was ours. I mean, he seemed to belong to us. So one day, I was listening to the radio, and I heard that Jerry was going to be in there later this afternoon for an interview to talk about his new record, Saving Grace. So this is like, I want to say May of 74. And I drove out to KDKB so I could meet Jerry Riopelle. I mean, and I'm like 20 years old. 19 actually. I was 19. I really had a nice chat with him out in the parking lot after his interview, and we exchanged numbers, and I told him I wanted to bring him to town, and I hadn't done any concerts yet. 0 concerts. So I started talking to Jerry, and the show was going to be Buckingham Nicks opening for Dan Fogelberg, opening for Jerry Riopelle at Symphony Hall. Jerry was the headliner. I had to find Jess Nicks to book Buckingham Nicks. They had no manager. Stevie was waiting tables in LA. Lindsay stayed at home and played his guitar, and Jess hated him for that. Fogelberg was from Illinois, Champaign, Illinois. Irving Azoff managed him. I called Irving, would he do this show? Yeah, I never pulled the trigger on that show, and I regret that. That would have been my first show. And because of the hold KDKB had playing this fantastic music, these groups were big here already. They were really, really well known because, you know, Blues on My Table was getting played 5, 6, 8 times a day. I mean, everybody knew this album. So I ended up doing my first booking with Jerry at the in October. I believe it was October 19th. 1974, and it was at Symphony Hall, and he opened for Brian Auger, and it was a great show. And then Jerry got booked right after that to open for Dr. John the Night Tripper at the Celebrity Theater, and it was a super, super special show. Both acts were just fantastic, and Jerry never looked back after that. He was booked again immediately in 1975 and sold out the Celebrity, and I think he went on a streak of 20 or 25 sellouts there throughout the rest of the 70s and into the 80s. So this record right here, I mean, this record was just as big as any Jackson Browne record in the 70s or Bonnie's or Jerry Jeff Walker. And you had all this great airplay, and there was a great connection between the Celebrity Theater and KDKB and the artists. It turned out throughout all those years, this was Jerry's biggest market. I can't believe that whoever his record company was at the time, I can't believe that they couldn't take this guy around the country or the world and make him just as big as all these other guys that I mentioned, other artists that I mentioned, because he deserved it. The music was as good as theirs, if not better. Depends on your own personal taste, I guess. But this record, folks, is now 50 years old. On May 31st and June 1st, we're doing the music of Jerry Riopelle live in concert at Talking Stick in their brand new showroom. First show's pretty much sold out. There's still some standing room, still some seats for show number 2 on June 1st. Coincidentally, June 2nd, 1974 was my first show. So we'll be having a really, really big double 50 celebration at the Riopelle show because it's the same weekend. You really ought to come out and be with all these people, whether you know them or not, to witness this concert. The music is simply fantastic. Dave Klen will be there, John Harris will be there, Laurie McDonald will be there, Jerry's son Paul, and the entire Riopelle musical band and family. Some really special guests will be performing. You're going to just have to come to find out who that's going to be. But we got 2 nights, May 31, June 1st, Talking Stick in Scottsdale, the music of Jerry Riopelle celebrating this bad boy 50 years ago. And Fritz Scholder, who's no longer with us, sad to say, painted this fantastic image, which has really been Jerry's brand ever since the beginning of time for most of us. Good time for us all to get together, reminisce, laugh, cry, sing. The music of Jerry Riopelle will live forever. That's me, signing out.